more updates meanwhile coming in. The Supreme Court has issued its interim order on the Bihar Special Intensive Revision exercise. Supreme Court has directed the ECI to publish a list of deleted voters and mention their reason for deletion. The petitioners had contested 65 lakh names missing in the draft electoral roll. The Supreme Court has directed the EC to publish the list of these 65 lakh names on their website. In their interim order, the Supreme Court also asked the EC to mention reasons for deletion. The top court has also opened up Aadhaar copy as a valid document for those contesting their names missing in the list. The EC strongly objected what they call dirty phrases like vote chori, which were being used as an attack on electors. The BJP, on the other hand, opened another front against the Congress. Amidst Rahul Gandhi's protests against the EC and the BJP has shown documents indicating Sonia Gandhi's inclusion in the voter rolls before her getting an Indian citizenship. And now Gajendra Shekhawat, Union Minister, in fact, has also claimed that during Nehru, nitric acid was poured into ballot boxes that were full to affect results. Let's take a look at the directions that have been given first by the Supreme Court today. These are, of course, the orders that the court made today in this matter. The Supreme Court made this interim order today, of course, where the names of those omitted can submit claims with a copy of the Aadhaar card. This is something that, of course, is a big takeaway number one of the Supreme Court's interim order today in the SIR matter. Also, notice to be posted on district electoral officers' social media pages as well of those names that have been deleted from the list. The EC to publish this list of 65 lakh deleted voters in Bihar very, very soon. I think a time of next week has been given for this to be done. Booth-wise details to be also made accessible via the EPIC number, that is the EPIC number. That is again another big takeaway of the Supreme Court interim order today. The list must also mention the reasons for each voter's non-inclusion in the draft roll. So the reasons for why those names are deleted must also be mentioned along with the names, is what the apex court has said. Wide publicity to also be given to the list in Bihar's newspapers, Doordarshan as well as radio channels. This is also something that the Supreme Court has urged. Booth-wise lists to be displayed on notice boards in panchayat offices as well. So those are all details, of course, of the order today that has been issued by the Supreme Court in this matter. Joining us to discuss this is Jasmine Sandavalia, BJP spokesperson. Neeraj Mishra, Congress spokesperson, is also joining us live. Sumit Pir, political commentator, is live with us. Nikhil Jain, advocate, also joins the broadcast live. Would you read this verdict today as a bit of a setback for the Election Commission in this exercise, Jasmine Sandavalia?
Not at all. Not at all. Why would we think that it's a setback for us? We are
no, not for you, for the EC.
But the only reason that the BJP was saying anything against the opposition was, repeatedly we have said that the opposition has every right to protest, but the manner in which the protest was being made, after all, the Election Commission is an independent body. It's an institution and it does not take its powers from any central government. And we welcome the decision of Supreme Court. And like I said repeatedly, that it is not that the opposition should not have the right to oppose anything, but it is the manner in which the Congress has been playing to a gallery and alleging that it's a vote chori. It is not a vote chori. And after all, in any democracy, there is a system to check and wean out wrong voters and delete the list of people who are not present on the ground. So there was no reason for them to make such an hue and cry. And whatever the Supreme Court has said today is welcome by us.
All right, Neeraj Mishra, let me draw you in here as well of the Congress. Neeraj, how do you react to the interim order by the apex court today and its implications on the exercise ahead?
Udayji, it is worth noting that the confidence of the voters in democracy comes from the transparency of the system. And at this point, the Election Commission and the BJP spokespersons who had become advocates for the Election Commission, they were trying not to promote transparency, but rather to ensure that the system becomes opaque. But today, when the Supreme Court heard the matter intensively and has given this interim order that all the list of voters whose names have been deleted should be put on a website, that too a massive campaign should be done where advertisement should be given out that these names have been cut out, and if there are any objections and claims, you can file it using your Aadhaar card also. Earlier, they had given just a suggestion, which ECI conveniently ignored, that they didn't want to include the Aadhaar as one of the documents for the procedure. But today, Supreme Court has clearly stated that the democracy's strongest pillar is that the voters need to have this confidence that the system is with them. And with this interim order, we are all very happy, and we are saying this. Udayji, let us understand why we have called it as a vote chori. You tell me this is only a single revision program in which not a single voter has been added. 65 lakh voters have been found unfit that they cannot vote because they are not able to furnish documents. But if this would have been a proper revision exercise, there would have been a lot of people who would have been added also, because in 6 months, a lot of people would have used that Form 6, which BJP has actually used in Mahadevpura. So the entire the narrative which BJP was trying to create and was advocating for the election commission, that whatever the opposition is asking is some sort of disservice to the nation, the Supreme Court has brought it to a halt. And they have clearly stated that we'll have to make the process transparent. We'll have to give all the names to the public, and it should be in machine readable format, that which is very important. The Supreme Court has said that the entire list should be searchable through epic numbers, because earlier the Election Commission had put out a list which was not machine readable, and when they had put out, after 3 days they changed the list to a non-machine readable format. So Supreme Court has taken cognizance of all the points which the leader of opposition and other leaders from the opposition were taking, and they have given a favorable verdict. And this is why we always say that democracy in this country is supreme, and there are institutions, when the state wants to go rogue, we have the Supreme Court which can put it in a right place and give the confidence to the voters.
All right, let me in fact take that across to Sumit Pir as well. Sumit Pir, this verdict today, of course, is being interpreted by all political court quarters. How do you view this verdict and its implications on the exercise ahead in Bihar?
Uday, thank you very much for having me on your show. Well, sir, to begin with, first of all, it had a couple of things which were validated. SIR is legal, fully doable, and EC is within its right to do it.
Yes.
So fundamental context which was brought in, that illegal, that is gone. Second thing, the process of doing it, what was the second bone of contention, is inclusive, not exclusive. Correct? The time given by EC is quite enough, good enough, no problems. So all the three major points of contention where when the opposition went to the Honorable Supreme Court said, well, it's not done. Yeah, the Honorable Supreme Court said, okay, publish the list. There are people, they can come. You can have the list on the Panchayat state. You can have things on every state. But if you look at the 65 lakh vote, 22 lakhs have deceased, 38 lakhs are around permanent migrants who left the place, and 7 lakhs are duplicate. I don't know, where do you talk of exclusion and inclusion? When the Honorable Supreme Court is of the opinion, the process is to include, and it is the right and duty of the Election Commission to make sure one person only has one vote. It should not be duplicate votes. Look, when voters get shunted out, all the parties should be happy because they were duplicate, farji or fake voters. Whatever they were, they got shunted out. It is not vote chori, it is the shuddhikaran of the voter list. You have to look at it that way. Whatever anomalies were there, they have been taken out. I don't know why Congress is rattled. I don't know why Rahul Gandhi ji wants to start those yatras and those mashal yatras and this big mega yatra in the Bihar. When everything is docked, and even if you still have a problem, you have the list out, go and raise your claim. Earlier you were saying list available nahi, list aa jayegi. By tomorrow morning it will be out. Go and raise your claim and talk about it. So I don't understand one thing. When you take out 65 lakh votes, why only the opposition has a problem? Usually, logically, if these fake voters, farji voters, whoever they are, if they are taken out due to whatever reason, these are three main reasons which I have given you, 7 lakh duplicate votes, everybody should be happy because these voters or these votes were taking out the power or minimizing the power of a legitimate voter. So the people of Bihar should be happy. Political parties should be happy. System should be happy. And on the top of that, you see what Mr. Gandhi is trying to do. The Election Commission of India is a constitutional body. You are trying to politicize the power of Election Commission of India. You are trying to put political interference in the working of Election Commission of India. You are trying to discredit the institutions of India, and in the way, you are trying to question the democracy of India. Because if you go on like this, tomorrow you will say, how do we know this 2024 elections was legal? How do we know that all the votes were right? Maybe all the elections were fudged. So by that logic, you are kind of discrediting each and every institutions in India. And when you win Karnataka or a Himachal, then you're perfectly all right with it. Everything goes right. Because Mr. Gandhi has to choose. He has to fight and win elections. You know, this having coffee with so-called alleged dead, which is kind of insulting the people, but it's his call, or running through these yatras, Bharat Jodo Yatra, Bharat Todo Yatra, Bihar Yatra, Mashal Yatra, Motorcycle Yatra. You can do any number of yatras, Mr. Gandhi, but the fundamentals remains that you have to win an election. If you want to be in the power, आपको election तो जीतना पड़ेगा ना. You see, semantics, optics, getting media bites, getting coverage, fighting on the debates or panels is okay. But when it comes to somebody casting a vote, he has to find you eligible enough to cast the vote. You can try all these tactics and optics, but the message which is going out to the common masses is that you are questioning Bharat, you are questioning India, you are questioning every institution of India. और वही वाली बात है, मोदी विरोध करते करते भारत का विरोध कब कर बैठते हैं आपको पता ही नहीं लगती. You don't know when you cross the election रेखा. That is the common conception or the notion which is going to the voters. What have you got out of going to EC? Except the list is published today, which would have been anyway published. That is not a big deal. Minus that, what was this all hangam and tamasha about? And I want to ask this question on national TV. Is Mr. Rahul Gandhi going to cancel this yatra? There are these night yatras and this yatra across the whole Bihar, because in my opinion, what Neeraj was rightfully mentioning now, according to what I've heard here, there is no need for it. I think it seems to be settled now. So let's go and concentrate on the election, right, rather than trying to, don't let a constitutionally appointed body like EC to do their job. You cannot politicize their way of working and functioning. That is what you are trying to do, Mr. Gandhi, which is very unfortunate. That too, when you are a leader of opposition, you are not a small person. You are a leader of opposition, and people look up to you, and your some statements then get quoted in Pakistan, they get quoted in China, they get quoted in the US. And at the end of the day, we as Bharat suffers. You might have a little bit of political gains, but you will keep on losing state after state, election after state, election after election, and you will keep on diminishing the power of Bharat. I think which is not collectively good for 1.4 billion people, 1.45 billion people, which may or may not be your voters. But at the end of the day, everybody is a Bharati, and the interest of Bharat is supreme. That is my opinion on it, Uday.
Let me, in fact, quickly also rope in Nikhil Jain now. Nikhil Jain, politically, who do you see this verdict today as a win for and a loss for? Do you believe it's preliminary to say that just yet? Also, the implications ahead for the exercise, Nikhil Jain.
So I certainly see it as a win for democracy, as a win for the principle of every person in India is equal and has a right to vote. And I see it as a loss for every single of those forces who wanted to disenfranchise millions and millions of voters. And let me point out to your viewers that the BJP spokesperson at the very start of the debate let the cat out of the bag. When you asked her, do you see this as a setback for the Election Commission? She answers it as, no, I don't see it as a setback for us. As if the Election Commission of India and the BJP is the same. The opposition has been making that charge time and again, and I think the BJP spokesperson has proven that on your show. She also goes on to say that it is now very well proven.
Don't misquote.
Ma'am, I did not. Ma'am, I did not. I wrote it very clearly. I did not say an entire sentence. I did write these 3 words. I have it written. You can see my notes. I can show you my notes. I am not misquoting. And please do the talk. Please do the talk. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That being said, the BJP spokesperson also said that this is not a vote chori and all these allegations have been rubbish. Then I would like to ask the BJP spokesperson, what was Mr. Anurag Thakur, a Union Cabinet Minister, saying yesterday? Because he was going around pointing out so many doubtful and dubious voters in constituencies of Kannauj and Rai Bareli and this and that. He was also pointing out the very same things that the opposition was proving. He was actually making the opposition's point that the Election Commission of India is not being able to do a proper job of things. And she also says that the BJP welcomes this decision of the Supreme Court. What about the fact that the BJP was vociferously fighting for Aadhaar not to be included in the Bihar SIR exercise, but the Supreme Court has gone ahead and clearly said that Aadhaar is to be included. And next to Mr. Sumit Pir's point, he said that, everybody was saying that SIR is legal. It was hardly anybody's argument that SIR is illegal. People's argument was that the way and the manner in which it was carried out, the exclusionary manner, that was illegal. And that is what the Supreme Court has now rectified by directing the Election Commission of India to publish the names of the deleted voters, to include Aadhaar into it. It is certainly a setback for the Election Commission. And let me also remind Mr. P that the Election Commission in the previous hearing in this matter told the court very clearly, no, we are not going to publish the list of the deleted voters. We don't have any legal mandate to do it. But the Supreme Court said nothing doing. You have to do it. You are a constitutional body. You have a certain role in democracy. And what questions the democracy of India is an election commission that is acting like an unconcerned, non-benevolent dictator. I would not even call them a king. They're acting like a dictator. We are going to lock up our headquarters. We'll not allow any press. We will not do any press conference. We'll not speak to the opposition. We'll not remain accountable to anybody until the Supreme Court had to give them the stick and remind them that this is a democracy. They're a constitutional body and they have certain responsibilities to the people of India. And lastly, in all the 65 lakh names that have been excluded, I want to ask the BJP and the Election Commission, how many of those are the illegal immigrants and the Ghuspetiyas and the Bangladeshis and the Rohingyas? Because that is how this entire furor started. I don't see even a lakh of those people. So why did we do this entire exercise in the month when the entire state is being flooded and we are asking people to submit matriculation certificates in a state where 90% people do not complete matriculation? We are asking them to submit their passports in a state where 98% of the people do not have a passport. The Supreme Court has set things in order and this is a win for democracy. And lastly, he said...
I'll come back to you. Let me get in Jasmine Sandhawalia. Jasmine Sandhawalia wants to respond to you. She says you have misquoted her. Let's allow her to respond.
Had a problem with this because apparently they only seem to be
Jasmine Sandhawalia, you can go ahead now and respond.
Caring about disenfranchisement of millions of voters.
Jasmine Sandhawalia, can you hear me? Please respond if you can.
Yes, I only have one point to say that I, as a citizen of India, as a spokesperson of the BJP, said that we welcome the decision of the Supreme Court. And I also said that it does not, after all, the BJP is a political party which is ruling the center. And I also said that the EC is not under any government. I did say that, and I think, Uday, you will watch out for that I said that the Election Commission does not come under the rule of the regulations of the election. The Election Commission is an independent body, and I repeat that. So don't
Ma'am, you did say all of that.
No,
ma'am, you did say all of that. I agree. You absolutely did say every single thing that you repeated. But you also said that this is not a setback for us.
All right, let me get in Sumit Pir now. Sumit Pir, at the end of the day, of course, do you believe that steps like now allowing Aadhaar card to be a legal document, also steps like, promoting this through various social media and other platforms, informing people whose name has been cut out, if there is for a genuine reason, will help inclusion of genuine names or not?
Well, look, the Honorable Supreme Court...
Or is this defeating the purpose of the exercise in the first place?
The process, the method, the right is with EC, everything is right. 11 documents were to include people, not to exclude people. So vis-a-vis this 65 lakhs, I have given you the breakup where do the number come from. If some of them, well, they are put in the village panchayat, they are published and all. If somebody has an objection, the minimum he can go is with his Aadhaar card and say, look, let's say if I cannot go and say I'm Nikhil Jain. If I'm Nikhil Jain, I must have an Aadhaar card. I have to carry an Aadhaar card of myself, or Nikhil Bhai will call order of his Aadhaar card of himself. I can't be Nikhil Jain, he can't be Sumit Pir. So if I have an objection, if my name is not in the list, I will go with that. Say, ye mera Aadhaar card hai, I'm not in the list, then the things will start from there. So Aadhaar card does not mean you get back into the list. Aadhaar card will tell you, okay, we validate your complaint because we register you, her name is there and there's an Aadhaar to validate your entry. So are you eligible or not? There's a different process altogether. So it's not an Aadhaar card has been taken. So that's a very important confusion which must be set to right. Now, the things are very transparent. Nobody answered my one question. Why did conceptually opposition go to the Supreme Court? They went with all these three main problems. They were all knocked out. Yeah, the list was published earlier. Now it is on a website. That solves the problem. Now, will Rahul Gandhi stop his yatras? That is the question. Will Rahul Gandhi stop going around the Bihar and kind of demonizing the Election Commission of India? Will he stop doing these night 12 o'clock yatras and these big mega yatras in the whole of Bihar? Or he wants his political TRP and his political persona to be more important than the Constitution of India and than the bodies of the India? And nobody answered me why you are okay with the election by the same Election Commission in Himachal and in Karnataka. Now, another question I want to put the caveat in front of the thing, you know what, well before the time. So when are you going to say that the EVMs are not working? And if you still have doubts in the election, then Mr. Gandhi, will you tomorrow come and say, if you win the election, that I will not take this victory because the election was fudged? Or you will only say when you have lost and somebody else has won. These are 3-4 important questions which Congress must clarify and Mr. Gandhi must clarify, because I believe he is a very tall leader, and by doing these things, it might give him some TRP, but overall, he's not doing good to his political image as well, because people can see through it, people can, watch for it. When BJP loses somewhere, it loses with grace. It doesn't go to the party, say ECs, done that, EVMs are corrupted. But why does Congress always start blaming the institutions before even the things have started? Because at the end of the day, you can
Mishra, then to counter you, Neeraj Mishra, Congress spokesperson.
Udayji, I really don't understand why BJP sends 2 spokespersons to news channels. Because what Sumit Pir's locus standi in questioning the intent of the opposition is, I really don't understand. But though being a responsible
No, he's speaking as a neutral commentator. You can disagree with him, though.
There was no neutrality. The audience is listening to what he's saying. He has only questions for the opposition. He has no questions or no suggestions for the party in power. So keeping that aside, Mr. Gandhi, who's setting out on this yatra from the 17th, it is going to be a 16-day yatra of around 1,300 kilometers, where he's traversing all through the length and breadth of Bihar. And the primary agenda is that if you are one of those 65 lakh people who the election commission is saying that you are ineligible to vote, and if you have all the legal documents and you can make that claim of your vote, you come out, you tell the election commission that we are here. Last evening, when that video came out, people like Sumit and all the other people in the ecosystem of BJP, they did not have any answer to how people who have been left out of the list, citing the reason that they have been deceased, they were having a cup of coffee with Mr. Gandhi. This was because that, look, in entirety, a lot of independent journalists and responsible newsrooms like Newsx have done this coverage, that most of the forms which were to be attested, to be signed by the people who were eligible voters, did not even reach them. The BLOs.
All right, we've run totally out of time, I'm afraid. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion. Let's slip into a short break.